Hi, I'm Robin Schultz with the Hoover Channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll always know when we have a new video coming up.
11th, 2026 City Council meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Council President Middlebrooks. Council Pro-Tem Driver.
Here.
Councilmember Schultz.
Here.
Councilmember Smith. Councilmember Lovell. Present. Councilmember Murphy.
Present.
Councilmember McClinton.
Here.
Madam Clerk, would you please lead us through the invocation to be followed by Robin Schultz leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for your protection over each of us. We thank you for the leaders here tonight. We also thank you for being with Casey and his family tonight. And we thank you for just quick healing. And we just thank you for being with us and also being with the mayor and his family and the mayor's prayer breakfast tomorrow morning. We thank you for just the wonderful welcome we'll have at it, and we thank you for all the people that will be attending. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Attention. Salute. Pledge.
All right. We'll start by adopting our agenda. Do we have a motion?
Madam President, motion to adopt.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will move forward with our announcements and reports. We'll start with a proclamation. So we have Miss Allie Mims here this evening. Miss Hoover, 2026. Mr. Mayor.
Come on down now.
Council, tonight we've got Ms. Hoover, Allie Mims, had the send-off party out in the lobby for the last hour for going to the Miss Alabama contest here in a couple of weeks. Founder of the Joyful Noise Foundation. She's raised more than $115,000 to support music therapy for special needs students. She's provided instrument grants to 105 special education classrooms, accomplished student at Sanford University, a published author, vocalist, community leader, and really we've known Allie for a while. You know, she was obviously Miss Teen Hoover, and then became Miss Alabama Teen, and then went on to be the first runner-up in the Miss America Teen the same year that Abby Stockard became Miss Miss America. Yeah, I'm not thinking USA. I'm wrong. Miss America. But I'll say this about Allie. She's been just a great representative for the city of Hoover for the last several years, and we can't say enough to say thank you for everything you've done for our community, and we just wish you all the best in the Miss Alabama pageant here in, I guess, a couple weeks, right? Okay. All right, Mr. City Attorney.
Pardon me. Allie Mims, Miss Hoover 2026 and Miss Alabama's Teen 2024, has demonstrated extraordinary leadership, compassion, and service through her dedication to music education, advocacy for individuals with special needs, and community engagement. And whereas she is a two-time published author of the books Make Music with Joy and Allie's musical Butterflies, and creator of the Joyful Noise app, using her talents and creativity to inspire children and families through music and positivity. And whereas Allie Mims founded the Joyful Noise Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing music therapy opportunities for special needs students and supporting youth mental health through music, joy, laughter, and play. And whereas through her charitable efforts, Allie Mims has personally raised more than $115,000, provided instrument grants to 105 special education classrooms across the globe, awarded 15 scholarships for special needs students to attend music camp, and implemented music programs and special needs choir initiatives that have positively impacted countless young people. And whereas she created the Joyful Noise talent show fundraiser featuring celebrity guest judge Cheryl Porter, assisted with the Addie's Army fundraiser alongside Tim Tebow, and planned the Red, White, and Blue Ball fundraiser in partnership with the City of Hoover for the Joyful Noise Foundation. Whereas Allie Mims composed and wrote Make a Joyful Noise, which was performed by a 160-voice choir and has received numerous honors, including the National Best Vocalist Award, participation in All-State Choir, and performances as a soloist for the Alabama Veterans Association and the National Anthem at the SEC Baseball Championship. And whereas Allie Mims continues to lead and inspire others through her Pound Pretty Heart social media initiative in partnership with the American Heart Association Pound Miss America Fit, serving as author of Pound Pretty Hearts and host of Healthy Hearts workshops promoting wellness, confidence, and heart health awareness. And whereas her commitment to scholarship, service, leadership, and the arts exemplifies the very best of the city of Hoover in the state of Alabama. Now, therefore, I, Nicholas C. Durzis, Mayor, and Khristi Driver, Council President Pro-Tem, on behalf of the city of Hoover, Alabama, do hereby recognize and honor Allie Mims for her outstanding achievements, unwavering dedication to serving others, and extraordinary impact on the lives of children, families, and communities across Alabama and beyond. Be it further proclaimed that we extend our sincere appreciation and congratulations to Allie Mims and wish her continued success in all future endeavors. Presented this 11th day of May in the year of our Lord 2026.
If anybody wants to hear a treat, listen to Allie and her mother sing God Bless America. Like they did
We can
at
do
the
it right
ball.
now. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
They could break out in a duet right now. It'd be great.
No, I'm just joking. But it is on Facebook if you want to go watch it. Well, if I'm ever given the opportunity to talk about what the city of Hoover has been to me, I take that opportunity. I'm sure I'm a familiar face to a lot of you. I do everything that I can to be present in the city of Hoover. It has become my home, not just the environment, but the people. I've had such a unique opportunity to be able to foster the most incredible relationships with people here in the city of Hoover. I have never in my life seen a group of people get behind somebody the way that these people have. I mean, they're at every event that I'm at. They are commenting on every social media post, even if they probably have no idea what it is. They are there financially, physically, I mean, verbally. The way that these people show up is absolutely incredible. And I've been involved in the Miss America organization since I was a 14-year-old girl. And now I'm 19 years old, and I just have never seen a community such as the city of Hoover. And so I am extremely, eternally grateful for what Hoover has been for me. I will be competing for the title of Miss Alabama in June. Finals is June 6th, where they'll crown a new Miss Alabama. And of course, I'm trusting the Lord's plan for whatever happens. This is my first year to compete. But what I do know is that I am so thankful that because of me trying to reach my goal to become Miss America one day, that it led me to meet all of you guys. And so I'm so thankful. And I have to give Dwight and Sandy Sandlin with the Sandlin Foundation a shout out, because they have donated $30,000 to my foundation, the Joyful Noise Foundation, to be able to implement music education for students that have disabilities and special needs all across the state of Alabama. And so I'm so thankful again for all of the doors that have opened. And if I never become Miss Alabama, so be it, because the year that I've had with Hoover as Miss Hoover and Miss Hoover's teen in 2024 has been absolutely incredible and 100% pivotal for who I am becoming. So thank you.
Yeah, that was great. All right. Proclamation for the America 250. I would like to ask from the George Maris Colonial Dames of the 17th Century contingent, Elizabeth Spear Gillian, Martha Jones, Karen Schallenberg, and Lucy Willis. If you're all here, please come forward. From the Hoover Historical Society, Deborah Burnett, Pam Thompson, Carolyn Kolar, Paula Watts, Jim Langley, please come forward. And from the American Legion Post 911, Ron Bradstreet, Fred Hughes, and Ginger Branson, please come forward. Before we read the proclamation, comments I have, this year marks the 250th anniversary of America's founding, and Hoover is proud to celebrate this historic milestone with the week of patriotic community activities. Throughout the week, residents of all ages will enjoy arts, history, family activities, fitness programs, and entertainment across our city. Highlights include patriotic art at the Hoover Randall House, family programming at the library, rec activities, and for all of us, the USO swing dance at the Senior Center. You know, that'll be something. The significant event and the signature event, we're calling the 4th on the 1st, because we will be having on July 1st at the Hoover Metropolitan Stadium our big fireworks celebration. In the past, everything's been done outside. This year, everything will be done inside the stadium. It'll be from 6 to 9 o'clock. We will have some really fantastic things taking place. For all you hot dog eaters, $1 hot dogs, how's that? I mean, that's big time. $1 hot dogs. Expect that to be a big draw. And for those that may want to witness, I think there is a possibility for the city council to actually have a hot dog eating contest. So not to try to upstage Nathan's at all, but you'll have to be there on the 1st to actually see it. We've also will be featuring a 350 by 150 foot American flag that will take 188 people to hold it. We hope that'll be done at the same time that we sing the national anthem, and we're hoping to have a flyover also. There's a lot of other things that'll be taking place. I want it to be as the staff, and I want to say thank you to the staff because I kind of told them that I want stuff for kids. This should be Barnum and Bailey Circus on steroids. And I want kids to be looking everywhere and things happening. So that's what they're going to have dogs running after Frisbees. There's going to be some crazy stuff taking place. And I'm hoping the next couple of weeks they'll have an announcement of kind of the premier event other than fireworks that'll happen that night. So again, we're expecting really a lot of fun that night and really plan on packing the house. So again, appreciate you all being here. And I will ask Mr. City Attorney if you will read the proclamation, please.
This proclamation is Celebrate America 250. Whereas July 4, 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, a historic milestone that initiated the birth of the United States of America as a nation dedicated to the enjoyment of life, liberty, equality, and self-government of the people. And whereas the George Maris chapter of the National Society Colonial Dames 17th Century in Alabama, in partnership with the City of Hoover Historical Society, is encouraging local observances that recognize and celebrate this historic founding of our great nation. And whereas the City of Hoover takes pride in its community's role in preserving history, promoting civic engagement, and fostering a spirit of patriotism through local events, education, and service. And whereas for 2.5 centuries, the United States has served as a beacon of democracy, resilience, and hope, striving to live up to its founding principles while navigating the challenges of a growing and evolving nation. And whereas the 250th anniversary is an opportunity to reflect on our nation's past, to honor the sacrifices of generations from all backgrounds and walks of life who have upheld American rights, and to look forward to the future with a renewed spirit of innovation, service, and unity. And whereas all citizens, schools, civic organizations, and businesses are encouraged to participate in activities that highlight the histories of our communities and contribute to the remembrance of and maintain a deep respect for the principles upon which our great nation was founded. Now, therefore, I, Nicholas C. Durzis, Mayor, and Khristi Driver, Council President Pro-Tem, on behalf of the city of Hoover, Alabama, do hereby proclaim the period leading up to and including July 4, 2026 as Celebrate America 250 during America's semi-quincentennial, and I call upon the people of Hoover to join in this historic celebration to reflect on our 250-year journey, to honor those who came before us, and to renew our commitment to the ideals that have shaped our past and will guide our future. Presented this the 11th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2026.
On behalf of the George Maris Colonial Dames, 17th century, and on behalf of the Hoover Historical Society, I want to thank the mayor and the council for this proclamation. And I'm going to try to say it too, semi-cinquentennial.
You said it better.
Obviously we know that it's a very, very important date in our history, that our country has been a country for over 250 years. We are celebrating that now. I can remember, oh gosh, I'm going to tell my age. I remember being at the bicentennial and celebrating that. And also, I also remember something like the 150th anniversary. God, I am telling my age. But we are so happy and so proud that our nation and the organizations that we all belong to and the cities and the states in Alabama have come together to celebrate during this period of time. And again, we thank you.
Thank you.
I see there are a few former and current elected officials here visiting with us tonight. So we have State Representative Susan DuBose. We have Jefferson County Sheriff Mark Petway. We have Josh Sisk, our Shelby County Commissioner, and former City Councilor here in Hoover, Joe Reeves. It's always wonderful to have all of you here with us, so thank you so much. All right, we will move next to a recognition. This is related to the Sandlin Foundation and a wonderful organization that they support, Magic City Woodworks, Manufactured Good, which was created by Tim Lawson in his woodworking shop in Bluff Park years ago and has grown into something much bigger, doing a lot of great in our community. I'd love to invite Dwight and Sandy and David and others to come on down. Anybody who's here on this item, please come on and join us. And David, would you like to make a couple of remarks?
Sure, thank you, Khristi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Khristi. I appreciate it. We've got Tim and his wife Lindsay here, and for those of you that are not familiar with Tim Lawson, he is also a battalion chief here with the Hoover Fire Department. So he wears a cape during the day, and I can assure you that at night and on the weekends, he's wearing a cape at Manufactured Good. It wasn't that long ago that Dwight was standing up here launching the Sandlin Foundation to the city of Hoover and reminding everyone that kindness was at the root of this foundation that he and Sandy have so generously given to. And we couldn't be more proud of our 14th partner, which is announced tonight, which is Manufactured Good, or some of you may have known it as Magic City Woodwork in its day. But Tim, I'm honored, we're honored to stand with you. Folks, when we told you that this foundation was going to go at every initiative that was showing impact and kindness and showing real results on changing lives, this organization is the very embodiment of that. In the last 24 months alone, Tim and his team have re-engineered and turned around the lives of 36 men in the Shelby, Jefferson, greater county areas, and showing them and putting them in workforce development to learn real good paying metalworking and woodworking jobs. These are men that are typically never given jobs after being released from custody and are given up on. But Tim and his team don't give up on anyone. And their mission is as strong as any of the charities that we work with. And I know I'm speaking for Dwight and Sandy tonight, but we couldn't be more proud to stand with you tonight, Tim, and let you know that $100,000 is coming to your organization on behalf of the Sandlin Foundation, which, by the way, in 6 months now puts us at $2.1 million total for the 14 area charities. So let's hear it for Dwight and Sandy. And Tim, I would love for you to come up and say a few words about Manufacture Good. Folks, if you don't know anything more about them and you weren't already impressed with what I just told you, if you dine at Taco Mama or Brock's Gap Brewery, or you've eaten at any of the restaurants in Stadium Trace, you sat on their chairs, their stools, dined on their tables. This is not a charity that just makes things and people buy them from them for charity. They're almost a self-sustaining charity that is in high demand. And when Dwight and I were down there, we saw half the orders were going to Samford University. So when I tell you they're a great organization, I mean they're a great organization. Tim?
Thank you. I certainly want to thank the Sandlins and the foundation. It's been a pleasure just getting to know you. That's the main thing for me. I love these relationships. But, you know, Magic City Woodworks and Manufacture Good was born out of the idea that I was taught in a fire station. And that is just to love the guys around you, mentor them, and treat them the way that you want to be treated. And so we get the opportunity to do that every day. And the things that I'm teaching these young men, they're with me for 12 weeks. There's 6 every 12 weeks year round. So we're running roughly 24 a year. But we're reading the Bible. 60 chapters of the Bible these men get to read alongside of me. They get to pray with me. They get to hear the gospel. They get to learn about woodworking, metalworking, and the trades. And but most importantly, they get to learn how to be the men that God's called them to be. And I learned that at a Hoover fire station. So how great is it that I get to work at the last 27 years of my life, be mentored by my fire chief who's in the room, and then get to take that mentoring and go give it back to the young men all over our community. So it's an honor to get to do that. It's certainly a blessing to be partnered with families like the Sandlins and with David and Steve. And there's so many other ones that are involved in my life on a daily basis that are helping me to make the impact that I'm making. So it takes a team, and I really appreciate everything we're doing. Thank you also, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Hold on one second.
Oh, by the way, I'd like to put my hat in the ring for the hot dog eating contest.
Guys, I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of second chances. God's been very good to me. These guys take the people who we almost discard and throw away and say their life isn't meaningful. That's what they do. I cannot be more proud to be associated with you guys. And Sandy and I are blessed to have the opportunity to know you and see what you do.
Next, we'll move along to public comments. Looks like we have Jim Langley here from the Hoover Historical Society. Jim, thank you.
Yeah, my slides. You got my PowerPoint? Okay. I am Jim Langley, or as Charlie Waldrop used to call me, Bear Killer. That's a story in itself right there.
We'll start your time over when we get the slides if you'd like.
Okay. Like I said, I'm Jim Langley, and I want to ask you, what do you think would happen if you were this child whose mother said, boy, it would be easier to have another child than to clean you up? Or what do you think would happen to a marriage where the guy said, I went on my honeymoon, I took 6 thick books, and I read them all? Well, I can't tell you what happened to all those incidents then, because you got to follow up and come to our storytelling event that I'm going to tell you about. Yeah, there are other things that told, like the other examples I had up there was, it was a hot summer day, and it had a camp for special adults, and I learned more motivation in a weekend with special needs adults than I did as 23 years as an Army officer. Or another one is, at 10 years old, my daddy, chief of police of the town of Vernon, Alabama, let me and an 11-year-old cousin chase 2 desperate criminals through the woods and put them in jail. Now, those are just kind of starting points of stories, so. Next. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. Just keep going to go next. Yeah. Storytelling has become a big deal in the Southeast. You go to several of these larger areas in Georgia and Tennessee and Alabama, and you see that they have storytelling festivals that draw large crowds in, and you have storytellers from all over the world. Well, you know, because everything we hear is just an opinion, and everything that we see is just perspective. So storytellers take that and turn it into what should be. All written history started as stories. So storytelling is a big deal, and we all have in common a lot of different things about stories. Now, the event is put on by the Hoover Historical Society, and it's sponsored and hosted by the First Christian Church over on Valleydale. And storytellers have a rich history, and we will have this event. Go ahead, next slide. This is the poster or the flyer for the event. We'll have it on May 31st at 1:30, which will have you time to go off from church to lunch and come back again, just over on Valleydale Road. And I've got different people that are from different walks of life, but they're all just ordinary people. They're just regular old people that are telling stories. We've got, I call them the colonel. We've got an executive who's a retired executive. We've got a judge. We got a principal, used to be principal of Hoover High, and we got a guy that did the Appalachian Trail, and we have, you know, all kind of guys that are going to tell, and women who are going to tell their stories, real stories from life, And it starts at 1:30 on May 31st at First Christian Church. It's free of charge to the public, no reservations needed. So just come and join us on May 31st, and it'll be a good time. Okay, that's me if you don't recognize me. I do a character called Delmont, and I do my own storytelling. So that's the picture I put up there. So what I want to do, though, is not to just tell you about this event. What I want to do is propose that for Hoover, the storytelling festival would be a good idea. And I'd like to see, after we see how this one does, if it's successful, I would like to promote and see if Hoover and other organizations get behind and get a storytelling festival where we can really have that all the groups coming in together. So that's probably what I came tonight and just propose that. Let's do it. Okay.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you. Sunday, May 31st.
Thank you, Mr. Langley. So next, we have some candidates for political office. We have Mr. Copeland, who is running for Shelby County Tax Commissioner. Come on down.
Good evening. Can everybody hear me? My name's Demas Copeland, and I'm running for Shelby County Property Tax Commissioner. I live in Calera with my wife and our 3 children. I always like to start off by saying, by a show of hands, does anybody like paying property taxes? Nobody ever does it. Nobody raises their hands. Well, I can assure you, I can save you money on your property taxes today. The legislature has created a bill and laws where there's 2 ways not to pay property taxes. The first way is by being permanently and totally disabled through the Department of Veteran Affairs or through the Social Security Administration. The second way is to be over 65, which most people in Shelby County and Alabama are. So every time I go out and I go to an event and there are people over 65, they always say, never ask a woman her age. But I say, is anyone here over 65? Every time they raise their hand, are you paying your property taxes? Yes. And so I'm here, and I think it's important as being a property tax commissioner that we educate the public. That's the #1 thing that I think the property tax commissioner can do, because during these hard economic times, people are paying money that they actually don't have to do. Now, if you are 65 and older, there's 2 ways that you don't pay. Because it's means tested. So if you make over $12,000, you don't pay state taxes. So you have to pay city and county and schools and all that good money. If you make under $12,000, then you don't pay any property taxes. So it's means tested. But that's the way you don't pay. Hopefully I've saved somebody some money today. Anyone? Okay. All right. The legislature passed 2 bills, which are very good. They're called HB 77 and HB 155. 77, the property tax commissioner can give you a tax exemption certificate that you can take to your closing and you give to the bank and you tell them, do not take any money out of my future escrow. So that was a big thing that the legislature did, and I support that bill. The second bill they passed was 155, which says that you don't have to keep coming back and asking for property tax exemptions. If you turn 65, you're not going to turn 64 next year, right? So, things are not going to go reverse. If you're permanently disabled, I don't think you're going to be healed the next year. So those were good bills that were co-sponsored by Kenneth Pascal from Pelham. Now, who am I? My name's Demas Copeland. Like I said, I spent about 10 years in the Department of Defense, mostly in the United States Marine Corps. I'm a war fighter. I served in the infantry right out of here in Bessemer. I believe in putting my life on the line. I've done it in my country in Operation Enduring Freedom. So I've served my country, and I'll do it again. After I left the Department of Defense, I spent about 9 years within the federal government serving in different leadership positions. Then I left the federal government, and I run my own real estate law practice here in Calera, while I focus on real estate law. So that's my background. I love people. I love being an attorney. I love real estate, and I would love to have your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your service, Mr. Copeland. We appreciate you and your family and for your sacrifices. Next, we have candidate Nate Carlson for State Senate District 16.
How are y'all? Thank y'all, counselors, for having me. Mayor Durgis, I really appreciate y'all letting me be here tonight. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, awesome. I'm Nate Carlson, and I am running in the Republican primary coming up next week on May 19th for State Senate District 16. For those of you that are trying to place exactly where that is, that's going to be Homewood on the north end, running south through Hoover and into northern Shelby County. I am originally from Birmingham. My wife and I have my wife here tonight, and our youngest of three. We have our kids in the Homewood schools and are just so fortunate to be a part of this community. And so a little bit more about me. I'm a former college athlete. I played football at the University of Alabama. I walked on down there. We played under Coach Nick Saban. We had a tremendous amount of success when I was down there. We won a national championship in 2009 and 2011, which was a lot of fun. Got to play with a lot of really talented people. But one of the things that I think I've taken away from that experience as it pertains to this tonight is the way that we continually approached every day to try and build and grow, and both personally but also collectively as a team. And I've drawn on that often through the years. As I was getting done with that, I knew kind of two things that I wanted to do. I wanted to build businesses, and I wanted to serve people. And so for me, that really manifested. My wife and I in 2016, we opened Real and Rosemary in Homewood. And then a couple of years later, we followed that with Caveat Coffee. I'm really proud of the fact that we just reached 10 years and 8 years in both of those businesses respectively. And for any of you that are in here that are small business owners, you likely know it's not every day you can take for granted. You scratch and claw to try and survive, and certainly we have not been exempt from that. But I'm really, really proud and fortunate of the fact that we've just continued to have another day to serve our customers. That really kind of brings me to the why I'm here, right? And that is because I recognize right now that our district is changing, our state is changing economically, and the challenges that we face tomorrow will not necessarily be solved by tomorrow's playbook. And so, I believe that our district needs someone that is a builder, that understands and can think about problems from a 360 perspective, that will come and work alongside local leaders like yourself to think about the complex issues that we're going to be facing, whether that's guardrails on data centers or stormwater infrastructure, to, how do we work alongside you to make sure that the Galleria has the maximum amount of impact as we revitalize and re-envision that to set our community up for the next 20 plus years. And so I get really excited about that because I think that my perspective and my experience is so uniquely positioned to be able to think about things and from not only a P&L perspective, but just how do you manage all the different facets that are business and life and all of that, and how it's ultimately going to manifest and touch each of us, right? Where we lower costs for every single person, and we treat the taxpayer dollars with the same level of thought and care that many of us do in our businesses and our families every day. And so I will leave you kind of with this as each of you go this next week to the polls and you're thinking about who to vote for. I would encourage each of you to really think about what type of future do you want, not only for this state, but also for the district and right here in this community. And I say that because for me, I want and I envision our future, and I want it to be something that my kids feel like they can be in. It was so encouraging to hear Allie speaking about how much this community has meant to her, and I certainly want to make sure that we have the type of environment that our children feel like they can remain in and keep their roots in and be a part of in the future. So anyways, if I can answer any more questions, I know I'm out of time. I will be here afterwards. I would love to speak to each of you. If you'd like some more information, please go to carlsonforalabama.com, and I would humbly ask for your vote next week on May 19th. Thank you.
Next up, we have Chris Anderson, who's running for Jefferson County Sheriff.
Good evening. I hope y'all can hear me okay. Being tall is not the best thing when you start talking about microphones, but I'll try to be brief. My name is Chris Anderson. I am a longtime law enforcement officer. I've spent over 31 years in the profession. 25 years ago, my wife and I started raising our family here in Hoover. I've worked in law enforcement for the past 31 years, most of my life. I followed my mother's footsteps into the profession. I spent the first 21 years of my career with the Birmingham Police Department. I'm matriculated through all departments within the department. I've led several different task forces, several different precincts, and several different organizations that have sought to bring crime down in the city of Birmingham. I was also one of the investigators that was featured on the show First 48. Since retiring from the city of Birmingham in 2016, I spent the last 10 years of my career traveling the country, working cold cases, working wrongful convictions, writing new strategies and new policies for different agencies all across the country. I'm also the author of not one, but two separate books that relate to the intersection of mental health and law enforcement. And speaking of author, I also authored some of the strategies that are currently being used by the Birmingham Police Department with the Birmingham Crime Commission. My experience in this profession is vast. I want to bring that same experience to the sheriff's office. Now, I'm not here to bash anyone. That's not in my character, but I believe we need a strategic plan that will help bring safety to not just Hoover, but every single city that Jefferson County covers. When elected, my administration will build stronger partnerships between cities like Hoover and the rest of the cities around Jefferson County, share resources, and continue public safety excellence. We'll focus on proactive crime prevention, not be reactive, to help keep cities like Hoover and the rest of the cities in Jefferson County much safer places. My administration will ensure that the cities like Hoover have access to specialized equipment and whenever critical incidents occur, you will have access to those resources within the city. My goal is simple. Protect what Hoover has built, support the professionals already serving in this community, and ensure that the sheriff's office add value whenever and wherever needed. I'll be here also, and I also have a minute to spare. That's the first time that's happened. I'll be here after the meeting. If you have any questions, I would love to sit down and talk to any of my neighbors here in Hoover. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. Mayor Derrick, keep doing what you're doing, sir.
Next, we'll have our current state representative, Susan DuBose, for District 45.
Thank you. My name is Susan DuBose. I'm Representative Susan DuBose, and I represent the 45th District. I'm a Hoover girl, and it is my honor and privilege, and quite honestly, my joy to represent all of you down in the State House. When I was elected for the first time 4 years ago, I was actually the first representative that Hoover had had in the State House in over 20 years. And I wanted to make a difference down there, and I hit the ground running. I've lived in Hoover for over 27 years with my husband and children. My kids grew up in the Hoover Public Schools, and I think we have fabulous schools here. I'm so proud of the schools that we have here in Hoover. In the State House, I'm on the Education Policy Committee. I'm on the Health Committee. You know, I grew up, or I wouldn't say I grew up, but my background is in banking and finance. I worked for Central Bank and Compass Bank, and I thought when I went down to the State House, I would be analyzing financial statements and picking apart things like that. But you know what? That's not what I ended up doing. I ended up standing up for women, standing up for minors. Within a month of being down there, I passed the bill protecting women in sports. And I didn't stop there. I defined male and female. I went on to work in all areas of education. So education is a priority for me. And I look forward to continuing to work in that area. Next week, when you go to the polls, if you're voting in the Republican primary, I am going to be on there in District 45, and I do have an opponent. He's not working, he's not campaigning, but the fact of the matter is he's on the ballot, and he's on the ballot ahead of me. So if you live in the east side of Hoover, over on the Greystone side, please look for me on the ballot. I would humbly and honorably appreciate your vote. Thank you all for being here. And again, it's my privilege, honor, and joy to represent all of you down the State House in Montgomery.
Thank you very much. Next, we have our current Jefferson County Sheriff, Mark Petway.
Mayor Durgis, council, citizens of Hoover, I'm Sheriff Mark Petway, your current sheriff, and I'm delighted to stand before you today to tell you some of the things that we've done here the last 8 years in Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. As sheriff, I work with all the municipalities right here in Jefferson County to make sure that crime is down. Crime is down over about 44% in Birmingham right now, and over 23% in all of Jefferson County. So we're proud of the work that's been done right now in Jefferson County. Over a year ago, I received a call from, at that time, Mayor Durgis. A little kid was lost in the woods. His mother was concerned. He called and asked for the help of the helicopter. But before I was able to send the helicopter up, he called me back and said, the kid has now been found. We work together with everyone right here in Jefferson County to make sure that crime is down. And by doing that, we send a message out to the bad guys to let them know that they're not going to do business right here in Jefferson County. Now, we'd rather be on the preventive end. We do things to prevent things, such as we go into the schools. We work with the Kiwanis downtown to read to kids. We give them books to start their own library. We want to stop their pipeline from school to prison by reading to kids. And this encourages them to read, to learn, and to dream big. This is what we want for our youth. Not only do we do that, but we have sports programs that we have for our kids. It is called LEAP, Law Enforcement Athletic Partnerships. We partner throughout all of Jefferson County to get the kids into sporting programs to where we can mentor them, talk to them about conflict resolution and not to carry guns to schools. We've been right here in the city of Fairfield. Councilor Murphy helped us get right here to do a 3-on-3 basketball tournament right here in the city of Fairfield. We love working with other municipalities. We love partnerships. Also, we believe in redemption. We have a program, a workforce program right now in our county jail to help those that are incarcerated. We believe in redemption to help them when they leave the jail to be able to be employed with great paying jobs. Because when you're at work, we want them at work also. We don't want them to have an opportunity to have an idle mind. So we invest in them to give them an education and opportunities to get skills to be employed when they leave the county jail. Not only do we do that, but we believe in protecting our places of worship. Our place of worship has been under attack, but we have training at our academy right now to teach you how to stand till we get there to protect your place of worship. We want you to worship in freedom. We want you to have an opportunity to stand there and pray and do whatever you have to do at your place of worship without having to worry about someone attacking you during your time of worship. We have free training also for those that have handguns, and we'll be talking about that tomorrow morning on the news at Fox 6. So those that have handguns and you've not been trained, come out to our facility. We want to train you how to use your handgun, how to make sure you clean it and put it away safely. So I say, for a better way, a more excellent way, on Election Day, keep Sheriff Mark Petway. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, we're going to consider our consent agenda. That is items number 1 through 16. Oh, I am so sorry. Catherine Robertson for Attorney General. My bad.
That was my cue to keep it short. I'll do it. I'm Catherine Robertson, and I'm running for Attorney General. I'm running for Attorney General because for the last decade, I have served as Chief Counsel to your current Attorney General. And during that time, I've had the privilege of working with the City of Hoover on multiple occasions, first with your police chief and now with your mayor and your new police chief. I have to say, from top to bottom, across Alabama, this is probably the city that I have the deepest relationship with, including some of you on the council. Y'all are easy to work with. You're great to work with. It was my pleasure to work with your mayor to make sure that false reports to police is now a felony in case that ever happens again. But we've also worked to make Alabama a safer place to live through tougher sentences, through tools to fight gangs. And maybe last week you noticed that we settled a big case with Roblox, where the proceeds of that settlement will be pushed out to fund school resource officers. Working in the Attorney General's office is a complicated place, is a complex place. You're asked to be the state's chief law enforcement officer, and you also lead the state's law firm. And so the reason that I decided to put my name on the ballot is because I know that office like the back of my hand. And what that means is that on day one, I'll be able to get to work for the people of Alabama, delivering results. When you guys call, I'll answer and I'll know what to do. And I think that's very important. So I told you I'd be short. I'm Catherine Robertson. Glad to be with y'all tonight. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Before we move to the consent agenda, we will have an opportunity as we go through the items on the agenda for people to make public comments if you're here about a specific agenda item tonight. But if you are here just to make a general public comment, I do want to offer the opportunity if there's anyone who has not yet made a comment but would like to tonight. All right, now we will move along to the consent agenda, which is items 1 through 16. We had the opportunity as a council body to go over these items with the staff at our public meeting this past Thursday and ask the questions that we have. So we usually vote on all of these as one block. I will ask the members of the council whether there is anyone who would like to remove an item from the consent agenda tonight.
Madam
All right.
President, I would like to move item 9.
All right, we'll remove item 9 from the consent agenda and move it to the regular agenda. Any other items that the council wishes to remove from the consent agenda tonight? All right, any members of the public wish to remove an item from the consent agenda this evening? All right, Mr. City Attorney, would you read items 1 through 16 with the exception of item number 9, please?
Yes, ma'am. Item 1 is simply reviewing the payment of bills. Item 2 is the approval of the minutes for 2 prior council meetings. Item 3 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to amend an agreement with the Jefferson County Commission concerning the construction project. Number 4 is a resolution informing the Department of Environmental Management of certain actions taken by the city concerning wastewater treatment plant at Inverness. Item 5 is a resolution that informs the Alabama Department of Environmental Management, the same report to the same agency, just a different report. And item 6 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute two change orders for the River Chase Pump Station. Item 7 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the state acting through ALDOT for the installation of traffic control signs within the city. Item 8 is a resolution adopting the Division G multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan, which is part of the Federal Disaster Mitigation Act. Number 10 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Hoover Mall Limited for community art display project at the River Chase Galleria. Item 11 is a resolution authorizing the use of the America 250 Alabama logo for city purposes. Item 12 is a resolution authorizing the submission of a grant app to the Jefferson County Commission for certain funding. Item 13 is a resolution accepting a grant from the Alabama Tourism Department on behalf of the city. Item 14 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a service agreement with the Miss Hoover Foundation for marketing. Item 15 is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with municipal and commercial uniforms for public safety personnel. Item 16 is a resolution authorizing budget amendments for the fiscal year ending September 30th of this year. That completes the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney. Do we have a motion?
Madam President, I would move for approval of items 1 through 16, with the exception of item 9.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now we will take up item number 9, which was removed from the consent agenda. This is resolution number 8838-26.
This is this is a resolution accepting change order numbers 34 through 36, 37 R1, 39 through 43, 45.R1, and 46, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents needed to effectuate the change orders for the new Hoover Fire Station number 1.
Thank you, President Pro-Tem and Council. I'm here to answer any questions. We also have representatives from Aho Architects here if you have any questions for them as well.
Before we move to discussion, I think we need a motion.
Madam President, I would move for approval, resolution 8838.
826.
Need my
Mr.
eyes.
Smith.
Second.
All right, Chief Bentley, any questions that you have for Chief Bentley or comments?
Chief, I just wanted to go on the record tonight how these changes are going to be funded.
There's no additional funding requested for these change orders. Actually, the project will come in under budget. Some of that's as a result of the liquidated damages that have been assessed to the contractor, but there's no additional funding for these requests.
These are penalties that are due to the contractor being 8 months late.
That is correct.
You still feel that they'll be able to finish in about a week and a half? It's been almost a half a week since we met on Thursday.
Yes, sir. We do. We feel confident in the plan, and as I said Thursday night, hindsight's clear, and if we had known that this may have taken 8 months to complete this project or 8 months late, we could have changed some things. And so we worked through that process, and we went through with you Thursday night everything that we did. Our Blake Miller and Aho Architects were able to have a discussion with Kaiser Construction and came up with a solution. And we feel confident in this plan, and we want it to be completed. They've rectified an issue with an electrical system power issue on Highway 31. They've come up with a solution for that that both have agreed to. And so we just want to finish the project and get the station opened. I know the public wants the same thing. And so we feel like that this is the best option for us at this point. Obviously, if it's not completed by the end of the month, as we said Thursday night, we'll come back to you as a council, and it would be a council vote to potentially separate employment between us and Kaiser Construction, and then let their surety bonding company come in and finish the project.
Chief, how much was the bond?
I'm not sure.
100%.
100%?
Payment bond and performance bond.
And
So
the bid came in at how much?
5.25.
I'm sorry?
5.25 million.
5.25 million, okay. And I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is not on Chief Bentley. This contract was taken under the previous administration, and in an effort to save $10,000, they chose a company that the chief knew was having problems in other communities. He let them know that there were problems in other communities, but yet they chose to save $10,000. And yet, look at where we are now. Thank you for everything you've done, Chief.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Chief, Madam President, I won't hold you too long, Chief.
Yes.
Just so I'll know, so we're assuming these are going to be the last change orders pending completion.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So,
and you fine? I'm good. I don't want to
No, I'd like to explain that. So we've waited. There are a couple of things that have been completed that you're approving in this change order group. We didn't want to come back to you and ask you for any other additional change orders until we were confident that we were close to being completed. I will say that there will be some cleanup at the end. There will be a change order that will have to balance things out, but no request to do additional work.
So, just so I know, these are the punch list items after the walkthrough, or still another walkthrough that may produce additional punch list items?
We had a walkthrough that took several days with the architect and a punch list, and that punch list has been narrowed down to a handful of items that they will complete within the month. Yes, sir.
Just a couple more. So, being that they're behind, are we, or should we look at warranty negotiations, you know, Tim or Chief? Because the only reason why I say that, the assets commissioning starts warranty, and they'll argue that, so we may be outside our warranty by the time the project ends, and they won't honor it. While we're negotiating, is there any way we can also add that to that? And maybe that's a Charlie question.
The contractor has not yet achieved substantial completion, which is the legal term in construction law that stops the clock ticking. That has not been granted yet. That has been withheld until the building can be used for its intended purpose. So that is what starts warranties.
I got you.
That is what stops liquidated damages, and we're not there yet. That's being kept as additional leverage over the contractor.
Good to go. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? All right, thank you, Chief Bentley. I know we agreed at the work session that you'll give us another update before the end of the month at the next meeting, which will be on the Tuesday following Memorial Day. We will not be having a work session before that meeting, so we look forward to hearing, hopefully, a good report at that time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move to item number 17, which is ordinance number 26-2699.
Madam President, do we need a vote on item 9?
Oh, my goodness. We sure do.
I know I drug things out.
Thank you. We do have a motion and a second, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now we will move to number 17, ordinance number 26-2699.
This is an ordinance to provide for the levying of municipal taxes for the city, for the assessment and collection of such taxes. And this is, I think recently at the work session, Councilor Smith said it's housekeeping, and that's what it is.
Do I have a motion?
Madam President, I would move for approval. Madam President, I would move for approval of, well, adoption, ordinance 26-2699.
Second.
Do we have any questions or comments on this item from the council? How about from the public? All right, all in favor, say, oh, we have to do a roll call, right? All right, so Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith? Aye. Councilmember Lovell? Aye. Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council Pro-Tem Driver?
Aye. All right, the ayes have it. We will move along to number 18, which is ordinance number 26-2695.
This is an ordinance that requires a public hearing. It's an ordinance that amends the zoning ordinance of the city of Hoover pertaining to the sale of consumable hemp products, and it is offered in compliance with recent state law changes.
Do we have a motion?
Madam President, I would move for adoption ordinance 26-2695.
Second.
I'll open the floor for questions and comments from the council.
Madam President, Mack. Under the current zoning, or under the proposed zoning, there were several sections that it stated like C1, C3, and others, but below that, it just had the letter C. What does that indicate?
Anytime you have, for this new classification, consumable hemp store as a primary principal use in our non-residential districts, anytime you see the C indicated in any of our zoning districts, that means that it has to obtain conditional use approval before they can submit for a permit and a certificate of occupancy.
And would that indicate that it would not be appropriate to license or would not be available to license under the other commercial zonings?
That's correct. If you have a commercial zoning district that does not indicate either a C for conditional use or P for permitted by right, it means the use is not permitted within that zoning district.
And under item 10.14, it lists 4 items that you cannot have a location within a certain number of feet of other locations, as well as minimum square foot floor size. They can't be 1,000 feet from a religious institution, school, single-family residence, kindergarten, childcare, public or private park, or public playgrounds. I know we're going to be addressing some things in a later motion, but I'm trying to think how I want to phrase this. I know we had an issue some 20-something years ago with an adult facility in the city, and the city sued under zoning and lost. How can we make sure that we can adhere to these zoning issues in this case?
Well, I think you have a couple of things going for you in this particular matter. One, we treat this particular facility in like manner to liquor stores. The sale of liquor for off-premise consumption as a primary principal use. We have not had any issues enforcing that aspect of the zoning ordinance since I've been here. Don't anticipate the issues with this particular use classification. The other thing I'll say is that our ordinance is structured in such a manner to mirror what the state has put into place as far as laws governing this particular kind of use. The only exceptions that we have to those distance requirements that you noted just a moment ago is if we have an existing consumable hemp business that has been in continuous operation and can prove that it has been in continuous operation. There are some grandfathering attributes here where we can consider those on a case-by-case basis, and they'll actually come before the city council for approval of their ABC license. But I would say those are some of the guardrails for us getting into or keeping these kinds of uses on track.
Mr. Attorney, I know you were not the city attorney at the time, but I'm sure you're aware we were all close friends with the president of the council at the time. Do you feel that there will be any problems in enforcing this zoning?
You know, the short answer, no. I'll just say this is a completely different situation than almost 20 years ago when it was a shop that was dealt primarily in adult novelty type items.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam President.
Any other questions or comments?
Madam Pro-Tem, so according to the current ordinance versus the proposed new, is it more stringent? Is it less? Can you just speak to that? I know it's in accordance with the state laws, but
Sure.
compared to what we've had.
Prior to the city issuing its temporary moratorium on consumable hemp businesses. The category in which these uses fell, CBD stores and the like, was general retail. We did not actually have a separate use classification for those. It came to our attention that we were starting to see a proliferation of those kinds of businesses. Our council at the time was concerned about the proliferation of those businesses. And so that's when we instituted the temporary moratorium to give us time to structure a zoning ordinance that would have better guardrails in place and other review procedures. And then the state legislature came in and gave us an incredible amount of help in defining those uses, defining the products, and they themselves giving a licensing apparatus for it. So definitely gave us a lot of guidance in how we structured this ordinance. So it will be more stringent than what we had before the temporary moratorium went into place.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know.
Other questions or comments? Do we have any questions or comments from the public? All right, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith? Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council Pro Tem Driver?
Aye. All right, the ayes have it. We will move along to ordinance number 2698, an ordinance to rezone the property located at 2333 Farley Place.
I'm sorry. Is it?
Second?
Do we have any questions or comments from the council on this item? Are there any questions or comments from members of the public on this item? If not, we will move along to the roll call vote. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council Pro Tem Driver?
Aye. With 6 ayes and 0 nays, the motion passes. We'll move along to resolution number 8813-26.
This is a resolution declaring a certain structure to be a public nuisance, providing for a public hearing and directing the abatement of that pursuant to Alabama Code Title 1153B1 through 1153B16.
Madam President, I would move for approval, Resolution 8813-26.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the council? Any questions or comments from the public on this item?
Madam President, I did have one person come up to me and ask whether or not we need to deal with the vegetation on the property prior to, and I know this is out there a little bit because we're not ready to do any demolition at this point, but do we need to consider the vegetation being cleaned up prior to anybody going in and doing any demolition work on the property, just for safety's sake?
Mr. Martin?
Yes, if the vegetation is out of compliance with the ordinance as of today, then yes, I think that is a sage move to go ahead and have that taken care of, to keep our contractor that works on that piece of it from having any damage incurred by potential leftovers or remains from the demolition of the house.
Might we have enough timeline to be able to get that done prior to a vote on what's before us now and the next step?
It may adjust the actual demolition date a bit. Your action tonight, should you approve the abatement of this nuisance, starts a 45-day clock on whether or not we are able to actually go abate it.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Just have the contractor go by, visit the location. He may not need it. I'm assuming he's going to have some heavy equipment, right? Okay, yeah. See if he can go by and see if he even needs it to be cut previously, and may save some time, Councilman Smith.
Will do.
I'm going to open the floor for a public hearing. Do we have any comments from the public? Any further questions or comments from the council? All right, we have a resolution, a motion and a second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have ordinance number 26-2697. This is related to short-term rentals, Mr. City Attorney.
Yeah, this is simply an amendment to the current law relating to short-term rentals of properties within the city.
Madam President, I would move for adoption of ordinance 26-2697.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Open the floor for any questions or comments from this council. Do we have any questions or comments from the public? All right, we've got a roll call vote, so Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Member Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council Pro-Tem Driver?
Aye. With a vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays, the motion carries. Next, we have resolution number 8814-26. Mr. City
This is,
Attorney.
I'm sorry. Do you want me
Go
to-
ahead, go ahead.
This is a resolution granting conditional use approval to allow the installation of a two-car metal canopy with a trench drain and a sand or oil interceptor to hand wash cars behind the space 140 for property located at 140 Inverness Corners.
Madam President, I would move for approval resolution 8814-26.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. I'll open the floor for questions or comments from the council. Any questions or comments from the public on this item tonight? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is up for immediate consideration. It is ordinance number 26-2701. So first, we'll need a motion to suspend the rules.
Madam President, I would move to suspend the rules.
Second?
Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council Pro-Tem Driver?
Aye. With a vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays, the roll call vote is carried. So next, we will entertain a motion for adoption of the ordinance.
Madam President, I would move for adoption of ordinance 26-2701.
Second?
This is an ordinance that amends the zoning ordinance of the city for revisions to use permissions of office or technical use regulations by district.
I'm going to open the floor for a public hearing. Questions or comments from the council?
Madam President?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's something, I guess, quick, and again, defining conditional use. So this is the just I'll be clear, this is the beginning process of not having a organization or a company come in and get a piece of property and develop it how they want. Conditional use is based upon if they do this, we'll consider this. I would ask, then that gives us a little bit of leeway to prevent anything from coming to the city without evaluation. But I would say, Mr. President, Mayor, once those rules and regulations come about on the steps we're going to take, would there be some form of a presentation back to us on what considerations will be put in place from a deliverable standpoint? For example, I'm sure there'll be some discussion about buffers, buffer zones, encroachment zones, setback zones, aquatic studies and things of that nature that the engineers will have to approve. I will give one recommendation up front, and I'll probably be my only one, because what has been happening around the nation, lack of information, utility availability and a capacity letter that has to be submitted by each utility from that company to the city. that gives us an idea of, can they serve with power? Do they have enough water? Any gas, natural gas related issues? So just a couple ideas, but I'm just, I guess, can you clarify it'll be additional information that we'll set for these companies that are coming in, but this is just the starter of that, so we can have a conditional use process. Yes, sir. That's correct. Okay, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, sir.
Other
Madam
questions or
President,
comments?
I just want to speak to the necessity of suspending the rules. Staff brought to our attention Thursday night, if not some of us prior to that, that we don't know how many people might be out there wanting to apply for a business license. And if we placed a conditional use and waited 2 more weeks for a vote, they could come in and apply for that license, and there wouldn't be much we could do because we had not voted this ordinance prior to then. And so that is what created the necessity for this evening.
Any other comments or questions from the council? So the public hearing continues with any questions or comments from the public. Yes, please come on down. Come down to the microphone so we can get you on the recording. Please give us your name and the area of town that you live in, please.
Hi, my name is Rachel Leader. I live in Rossbridge. Why this versus a moratorium? Why did you decide to go this route versus just a complete moratorium? Particularly for, I'm assuming you're talking about AI data centers.
I would invite Mr. Martin to comment on that for us.
Well, in analyzing the ordinance and the steps that we would take should we have a new data center project that falls under this office technical use definition or the expansion of an existing one. We do have at least one prominent data center within the city limits of Hoover. Felt the better route to go for us moving forward would be not completely shutting the door on that particular use, but having a process in place by which we can analyze it. I think Mr. Murphy put it well that we needed to have a step in place to evaluate that particular use. I know one of the things that we grappled with when trying to identify how a data center would be defined in our zoning ordinance was exactly what is the definition of a data center, what are the necessary components thereof. And I know that there are a number of different kinds of facilities that are locating around the country right now, different levels of impact that they could potentially have. Closed system, some with integrated water system, some with power generation on site, many with generator backup. So a number of different components to data centers. In our analysis, we found that we did have the office technical use designation that most closely fit what we're seeing materialize in the form of data centers. And having that conditional use process would at least give someone looking to place one in Hoover or one that already exists in Hoover and may want to expand an opportunity to be heard, an opportunity to provide that evaluation, the statistics and the potential impacts to us, and allow our planning commission and our city council to make the final decision.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Any other comments or questions from members of the public? Okay. Come on down, give us your name and the area of town where you live, please.
I'm Barbara Del Rio, and I live in Bluff Park, not far from the Nebulous Data Center. And my question is, how are you going to engage residents with your plans for developing ordinances for data centers? How are we going, because he talked about engaging businesses or corporations that want to come in with them and giving them a chance to be heard. But how are you going to give residents a chance to be heard before you approve something like that? And just what are your plans for developing this ordinance?
So Councilor Schultz would like to speak on that item.
I think it's a very good question, and one of the things that Councilor Lovell and I have found over the last month is what is a data center? It was a question that was asked at our town hall meeting. In this room, we have a data center in the back room there. Data centers are defined as, can be as small as a closet and can be as big as projects that are 900 acres. So what we're going to do first is we're going to educate everybody, including ourselves, as to what is a data center. And from there, we can pursue the projects that may be in front of us, and we're going to engage the public into when something comes in front of us. I think it's important. I think what we've seen in the City of Birmingham project, it drew a lot of comments from people in Hoover. And the very first thing they asked the city is, how can you stop it? Well, we don't have jurisdiction over Birmingham. We can't stop Birmingham. We can't stop Bessemer. But we can start with this ordinance right here in making sure that whatever comes in front of us, we can look at it and make a good decision. We have data centers in Hoover right now. There are 5 data centers within 2 miles of the Lakeshore project that people aren't aware of. They're already there. They're not huge like some of them are. Some of them are fairly small. And that's where we with this particular ordinance, it gives us the opportunity to look at each one and make a decision on each one. But it starts with education.
Ms. Del Rio, I do want to respond briefly to your question about how the public can be engaged in these discussions. So I serve on Planning and Zoning Commission in addition to my role on the council, and we have public meetings once a month where if there ever were an item that were being presented for this conditional use, there would be a public hearing over that. It would be advertised to the public. The public has the right to come and speak at that meeting. And then because conditional uses are just recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission, this body has to make that ultimate decision. So then there would be another opportunity for public engagement to come and express your concerns and, bring any of your friends or neighbors who had concerns as well. Does that help?
Yeah, that does.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions from the public? All right, we will close the public hearing and have a roll call vote. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilmember Schultz?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Councilmember Lovell?
Aye.
Councilmember Murphy?
Aye.
Councilmember McClinton?
Aye.
Council Pro-Tem Driver?
Aye. With a vote of 6 ayes and 0 nays, the ordinance is adopted. Next, we'll have a first reading for an item that will have a public hearing on May 26th. This is for ordinance number 26-2700. Mr. City Attorney.
This is an ordinance that will amend the Code of Ordinances regarding licensing, classifications, and requirements for the consumable hemp products that you addressed previously with the zoning change.
All right. And finally, we'll have any closing council comments.
Mayor, do you want to talk about a little baseball?
Thank you. Thank you.
Bless you.
The SEC baseball tournament begins next Tuesday. We'll have single elimination. All 16 teams from the SEC will be in town. So I want to thank staff. Everybody's been working very, very hard getting ready. Expected another probably 170 to 190,000 attendees next week. So if you like baseball, it's the best baseball in America. So enjoy it and hope the weather will be capable. It's supposed to be a beautiful week this week. We hope it'll be a beautiful week next week.
Thank you so much. And thanks to the staff for all the work that you put in. Countless hours go into preparation for hosting this event every year. Councilor Lovell?
Yes, Madam Pro-Tem. I wanted to just give a quick thanks to Mac as well as Brian Munger on the ordinance that we just passed in relation to office technical use. It was a creative way to solve something that was in front of us, and I appreciate we listened to the public, we understood their concerns, and then we responded accordingly. So I'm just proud to be a part of this administration that takes proactive approach to situations rather than reactive. So thank you guys so much for what you do.
Madam President, let me make one correction, clarification. Item 20, for the record, I'm not directing Mac to do anything. So I'll ask the mayor, would he consider having the contractor to go and visit and report back? I want to make sure my processes are correct.
Yes, sir.
Of course, we all took that as a request, not a mandate. Any other council comments? Councilor Schultz?
Speaking of baseball, Spain Park has advanced to the semifinals. They're playing this Thursday at home against Northridge, and if you're not able to go, you can listen to it on YouTube. And I do recommend you listen to it. Board of Education President Alan Burkett does the color for the play-by-play. He does a really good job. He thinks he's Chris Stewart. So I encourage you to listen to it. Thank you.
Any other comments from the council? All right, have a good evening, everyone. Meeting's adjourned.